Hey guys, welcome to another episode of J. Avenue's podcast. This week is going to be episode 9 and we're going to discuss dating. So let's get into it. Now, the reason why I changed the topic for this week is because lately I've been seeing some women online on social media making themselves look foolish publicly for men who don't even acknowledge them or for men who breadcrumb them. And so this is just very important to discuss and go over. I even went over with my son last week in our own personal conversation, of course from his perspective, but I wanted to target the ladies specifically. This can be applied to both genders. I'll touch on that later, but for example purposes, we're going to focus more on the females because this is where I see it happening the most. And listening to people through my daily life talking about their dating life and life in general, when it comes to dating, I notice that the females are usually conditioned to do the utmost publicly for their men in order to show that they're a ride or die. I know we've heard that term plenty of times. And these women will literally kill their self-esteem just for a man's affection and attention. On Twitter, I saw a comment where a girl admitted to dating a guy who was already in a relationship with someone, and she was the side chick. And she literally wrote a paragraph about why he should be with her versus the girlfriend. What is really going on? And yes, I want to be clear, this does happen with both genders, but it just seems like it's more accepted for females to carry on this way for a man. I feel like we have to awaken and recognize our own worth. This is why we have some men asking, what do you bring to the table? It's because there are women out here who literally don't have any skills and they just have their hand out. They don't even find any value in themselves. The only value that they find in themselves is with a man. They have no value without a man. And the man picks up on that. He will sleep with you anyway. But if he's young in the mind or he's scarred, it tarnishes how he views other women as a whole. He starts to view the entire group in that same regard, especially if these are the only women that he seems to constantly attract. It's the same when men only date alpha women. And then they complain that they aren't respected or the women are controlling or too emasculating. Like, really? Or women who date unemployed men with potential, who rarely ever materialize anything, but then they complain that these dudes are all users or they're broke. Or these women date emotionally unavailable men but complain that these men have no feelings and they don't care about them. We also have men who date women with no skills, which is this example. Men who are dating women with no skills but sex in order to save them financially. But then they complain and then they ask women, what do you bring to the table? All of a sudden now you want to ask everyone else after this girl, oh, what do you bring to the table? As if you're annoyed, when the truth is, you've set out for these kind of women in the first place. You've asked for it, honestly. And of course, most of these women are boy crazy. And it's out of habit because most of them have daddy issues and subconsciously are looking for that father void to be fulfilled. Many didn't have brothers or they've lost their brothers. And so they look for that male bond in their romantic relationships. So Some of them are conditioned to praise men in their household and treat them like gods. And then there's others who just use men for money to help them financially, and this ends up creating an unhealthy codependency. And this codependency can easily be broken within seconds once he has no use for you, because you've given him that advantage. You've given him that advantage to see no other value in you or none in you at all. But for sure, there has to be a void with these women, for sure. So then this group of women ends up being mixed in with other women who don't attach their means of survival to a man and probably won't ever do so until they are married, if they desire to. And it's just unfortunate because it's being done carelessly and with no commitment. And it's kind of that false sense of hope for a commitment is actually what is keeping these women actively giving their undying affection to these men. And it ends up coming off desperate because lust is a drug, codependency is a drug. So there's no use in even telling them anything because they're just addicted to these men. Again, it's out of habit. So please, when dating, please ensure that you've already know what is your value. Know your value. Be clear on what you have, what you can provide. Be clear on what you're willing to tolerate and not tolerate is very important. Know what you want as an outcome, or at least what you desire for the time being. Make your goals align with your dating circumstances. Don't go into it looking for forever and then you pick up a man who is for the streets. You can't change him or his mind. Don't say you're willing to openly date because that's what he wants and he's cute and has a nice job. So you're like, okay, what the hell? But unless you're actually going to do that, don't go in saying that. Be real, be upfront, be honest about what you're expecting. It's like your words should be matching your actions and your capabilities. Because men will test your words. I'm telling you that right now. He will give you exactly what he promised. And he will test exactly what you promised and what you agreed to. He's going to take exactly what he wants. Men usually are straightforward. They'll tell you straight up. But it's us. It's women who are like, oh, I could change his mind. He's only saying that right now. But no, stop thinking like that. Unless he doesn't verbally change what he initially agreed to, just go with what you set in the beginning. And if you meet a man who has potential, but he's not ready yet, or he's not on the same page as you, it's okay to just keep his number and circle back in a year or so. You don't have to give him endless chances. You don't have to date him exclusively for an extended period of time, waiting around for this potential to turn into something which may or may not happen. That is not your job to fix or help him make his potential a reality. He's a man on his own. That's something he needs to be doing on his own. Yes, you can be there to provide emotional support, but this is something you're doing after you've gotten a commitment or after you've had time invested, not in the beginning when you're just meeting him for the first time. Why is ride or die kicking in immediately? You don't know him. So please, if you're dating a man with potential, no one's saying don't date a man with potential. If that's really what you want to do, I'd say stray away from it. But hey, if you really want to do it, fine. But go into it in a smart way. At most, okay, fine. Maybe you go on one date with him. Use that as an opportunity to see if there's any red flags. That's what you do. He seems to have potential. Let me date him a little bit and see what he's about. Let me see if there's any more red flags or anything like that. And if there are red flags, stop trying to paint them green. Stop making excuses for them. These red flags are not pink or almost red or, well, it's, I see a little white in there, ain't really all the way red, and all of a sudden you're colorblind. No, you know what red flags look like to you. Stop trying to paint them over. Take them for what they're worth. No one's saying you have to get someone perfect the first time around when you're dating, but you should know, again, what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. And if you see a red flag and you feel like, okay, I only see one red flag, but a lot of green flags, maybe I want to give him a chance, that's fine, but you got to be observant and know what you're looking for. So, this should all be just common sense advice, honestly, and it goes across the board. But you, as a feminine, it's like you have to tap into your masculine energies as well. Tap into that masculine energy reserve tank. It doesn't matter, no matter how low it may be. You have enough there to know what is fact, because everyone has both energies flowing through them freely. It's just we express them in many ways. You can also use your feminine energy, which is that of intuition and discernment, to help you in this case as well. And it's okay. You can still do this and be graceful. You can still do this and be delicate. You can still exude confidence and class. All of that is still possible. It has nothing to do with the fact that this is what it is. It's you dating smart. Dating with intent. Seeing the value in yourself to know, okay, I don't deserve anything other than good quality dating. This is a grown folks thing. When you think of it, this is what grown people do when they're dating. They date with intent. They date knowing what they want and what they don't want from someone. So please stop giving these situationships and boyfriends and side pieces or sneaky links. Stop giving them husband treatment. Maybe after you've dated them for a while, you can do it once in a blue moon. If you want them to know what you're capable of, I've seen those in situations. I've been in that position before where you want to show them what you're capable of doing. But you do so sparingly. You do so in a smart way. Once in a blue moon. He'll love it. And he'll even mention that he likes it. Maybe, I like what you do. And that's when you let him know clearly, okay, that's husband treatment, and we're not there yet. We just dated and chilling for now, but maybe I did it because it was your birthday, or maybe I did it just because, which is even better, right? Because you're showing him, look, this is something that I usually do or I can do, but again, it falls under husband treatment, so we're not there yet. So it's not going to be consistent because you're not my husband. But when you give them husband treatment freely, he'll start to expect it all the time. It no longer becomes classified as husband treatment now. This is all of a sudden a sneaky link gets the same privileges as someone who you want to be your husband. Where do they do that? and you expect him to respect you in that manner. Remember, men think business wise. They think differently. Some may see that effort and be like, oh damn, but most of them will look at it like, damn, that's not smart, because me and her are not even nowhere near on that level, and she already given me this, and they're thinking about how easy they got it from you. So don't do these husband treatment things like so freely. He'll start to expect it, and there's really no reason after that for him to pursue you in any other manner or any deeply than that. There's no need for him to give you any further commitment because he's already gotten all that you can give. That's like giving up all your coins in an investment with no return. And you still go back and invest more. And you invest more exponentially. It's like, at what point are you seeing the return? That's bad business. Because does this return match your investment efforts? Does it even match? Are you giving 100% but getting back negative 35%? It sounds like a loss to me. Seriously, this is costing you a lot. Because at minimum, you should at least be breaking even, really and truly. And even then, that's still a loss breaking even, because the whole point of an investment is to gain, to make a profit. So don't be silly, especially giving so much of yourself in the beginning stages. It's like, and then the fact that you're doing all of this just to get their attention, which is the bare minimum. It should be the bare minimum. Think about it. Because look at what you're investing. You've already given them your attention and your affection. You've given them your time. You've given them everything you have. All with the hopes of just getting them to look at you and pay attention to you. That's how much his attention costs. And then the fact that he's not even willing to give you his attention readily says that he doesn't think you're worth it. And then you still fight to keep it, because guess what? His attention wanders. It wanders so easily. So again, now you got to work harder just to even keep it, because his attention wanders so easily. It's even easier. His attention wanders easier than it took you to get it. It's easier for his attention to wander in comparison in how easy it was for you to get it, because it wasn't easy for you to get it. But it's easy for you to lose after you've given everything. And again, I can't stress it enough. Men don't usually have this issue unless they really like you. If you find a guy who's like really crazy over a girl and he's sprung over a girl, he lets it be known. This is not that scenario. Usually men do not have this problem when dating. We always have this issue because, again, we think that we can be the ones to change them. That's the problem. And it's like, girl, bye. Like, only he can change his own mind. Only life can help him change his own mind, not you. The only time we as women can ever be a part of a man learning a lesson is when you giving him your everything and you fall back, you move on, you start giving your attention to someone else, and someone else who would actually appreciate it. But in order to do that, you have to see your worth. You have to see your value first, and you have to recognize that he doesn't. And then leaving him will help him realize But then, even then, that's really life just hitting him with reality. This is not you leaving only to stalk him with fake pages or burner pages to see if he's learned his lesson yet and misses you yet, and it's only been 2 days. We're not talking about that, because that is not moving on. That is not recognizing your value and giving it to someone who will appreciate it, or investing it into yourself. You have to actually intentionally leave him knowing that he didn't appreciate you, and actually move forward in healing. And then once you do that, of course, after a while, he's going to look around and say, damn, I really had it good with her and I messed it up. But that can't happen until you see worth in yourself, because you're so busy running behind him. It screams that you don't think you deserve better. It's I hear this all the time. It's so easy to say that you want to be a city girl, or you want to just chill and have fun with a dude with no attachments. It's easy for us to say, but then at some point, those chill and have fun moments become investments. That's the truth. Because it's the time, and you'll start actually putting effort into it at some point. After you invest your time, you'll start to cancel girls' night out to chill with your friend with benefits, to chill with your sneaky link. You'll spend alone time with them, maybe even go out to eat, right? Because it don't seem like a big deal. He'll treat you, or maybe he'll buy you a gift. Things seem fine until you find out that he entertains other women. And there was no commitment involved, right? You're just having fun, right? So you'll brush it off and try to just see him when you can. But remember, no one likes to feel like they're second. That's human nature. No one likes to be second. Because he'll entertain other women, but I'm sure he would not be okay with you entertaining other men, right? You probably won't want to, and he knows that, which is why he chose you or pursued you in the first place. Because again, this is you freely giving yourself to him exclusively. And he isn't. He doesn't have to give to himself to you exclusively. So already that's an unbalance. Already he's at an advantage. And without notice, you'll probably feel more entitled to more time with him. You'll start to ride hard for him to prove your worth to him, to let these other chicks know that you're the main one, or you were the first. And it's like he signed you up for this competition without your permission. It's like you're in this competition you didn't even ask to be in. And of course, you'll ride for him publicly, and he won't respond or even address any of it, because that's a safe response. No response to men is a safe response, because he can alter his responses privately to the both of you, because he can do so even in an undocumented fashion, casually in words, maybe talking to you face to face in private. There's no record of it. It's a your word versus his word case scenario. So those affirmations that he gives you in private are just to patronize you, because he's giving it to all of the women that he entertains. He's not going to just do it for you. He loves to see women fighting over him. Men love to see women fighting over them, especially when they're not attached to any of them. it kind of boosts their ego. That's the term I'm looking for. It definitely boosts their ego. And again, it shows that he's worth more. See, when it comes to dating, men know their value. They walk in already knowing what they have to offer. So this is us trying to do the same when we're entering in these dating relationships. You have to be careful. You will never see a dude fighting over another dude. This dude will not fight another dude over you. He's not, especially if he has no commitment to you and you're just a sneaky link or side piece. He's not going to be fighting these men over you. Not at all. You'll never see that. Unless you have some sort of title or he's giving you some sort of commitment. And even then, he won't accept it. Men, they're not going to do that, because every man knows that if you have to fight over someone, if you have to fight someone else over a person that you love, and you actually fight, you are fighting this person, it shows that you don't value yourself. And you don't think that you deserve better and you can do better. And it makes you look desperate. And men are not freely doing that. They are not freely going to be out here looking desperate. Especially not publicly. And you know, some women, when you think about it, there are some women who are with a man for a whole decade. A whole decade. You'll see them promote what he's got going on. They'll even put their business to the side for him. They'll publicly express and proclaim that this is their man, and they take up for their man like crazy. And you know, the man won't even mention his woman's business that she has on the side, or even promote her, or even acknowledge her, honestly. And the only way you'll see them promoting this woman who they've been with for a decade is probably if they have some financial gain attached to it, like their business partners. But if she got her own thing going, I'm not gonna promote that. Why? Yeah, we've been together a decade, but she's not my wife. I don't know her like that. Like, anything could happen. Some of these women are not loyal, and they will say this after a decade of being with you, because they know how important that commitment is for them. Without it, you're just a single man. They're just a single man, you're just a single woman, so anything could happen. So don't let it fool you. So it's just, you have to please, like, try not to be out here in public going back and forth with a woman over community peen or community property. Please, I beg you, like, don't be proclaiming that you guys go together, but yet he's over there adamant that he's still single, living a single life, but in private he's telling you, oh well, it's about technicalities, that well, technically we are single, you know, I'm just tripping, you know how I feel, and he's trying to ease your concern, and he's playing these mind games and these word games with you. No, if he's out here proclaiming that he's single, so are you. So he gets single people treatment. If he's a sneaky link, you get sneaky link treatment. See, I never have this issue. Usually when I date someone, they usually want to be serious with me very quickly, because again, I'm treating you like how you are. I've been in countless situations where I dated someone, and initially when we started out, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I just want to have fun. Okay, are you sure? Okay, no problem. Because guess what? If in my book, if you're a sneaky link, side piece, friend with benefit, whatever you want to call it, situationship, even to where we're just talking, no one will know about you. I'm telling you that right now. No one knows about you. I'm not going to mention you anywhere publicly. I may not even acknowledge that we're dating because, again, I'm mostly private with that. If you see me say, okay, well, me and this person go together, it's because there's that mutual understanding. I'm going to treat you how you treat me. So don't tell me that you want to openly date, because I'm going to openly date. Don't tell me, oh, we just having fun. Okay. Because I'm not going to be exclusive to you. And I'll tell you that, and you'll see that. And usually, anytime that I've had that situation, they change their mind really quickly. Okay, so I changed my mind. I just want it to be us, because I normally don't have this issue. Knock on wood. Because I'm not playing with nobody. I'm not playing with no people's children. You will be labeled with what it is that we are doing. I'm not going to give you husband treatment. You may have seen it once in a blue moon and say, damn, I wish I could get that all the time. Which is probably why I've been engaged to a lot as well. Because I just don't have that issue. And usually in most situations, I've ended things because maybe it just wasn't enough or I changed my mind. But I don't have this problem because I'm not going to be out here looking crazy. All it takes is for one person to reach back to me and tell me that you're talking to them or they're talking to you. Oh, okay. That's not somebody I'm claiming publicly. Why would I claim you publicly and you're for the streets? You belong to all of us. That's how you'll be treated accordingly. That's what you said. So what I do, again, I treat you like how you treat me. If you don't call me often, I'm not calling you. If you don't text me and if I text you or I hit you up and you don't call me often or you don't return my calls and you act like, oh, I've been so busy. Oh, me too. If you don't make an effort, I'm not making any effort. For what? For why? For who? No, I'm not doing it. So, especially in the beginning stages, and in the beginning stages also, I don't tolerate much because, again, it is the beginning. Why am I tolerating so much in the beginning? I just met you. Why am I already tolerating this? If I already feel not valued or I already feel like you're ignoring me, I'm out. This is the best time to head out because there's barely anything invested. So I'm taking my cut and I'm going on to the next one. If I see a red flag, then I have to decide, okay, is this a red flag that I can tolerate or not? And I'm heading out. I'm out of there. I have issues in my past to where that was my issue. Once I started dating someone, we became exclusive. I tolerated a lot when I didn't need to because at the age that I was, I should have left. Because the younger you are, the less you should be tolerating, really and truly. When you're in your 20s, that's your time to explore who you are. That's your time to know what you're willing to put up with and not. That is your time to say, you know what? I'm too young to be compromising with you. Why am I 20 years old with so much life trying to compromise with you? This is not the age range for that. I shouldn't be compromising. That's holding me back from knowing what I really want in life, who I really am, what I'm really looking for. I need to be acknowledging that. I need to be truthful with that and with myself. So if I see something I don't like, that's me telling myself, okay, nope, don't like this. Don't like that. That's when you're supposed to be your most selfish, is that age range, not compromising, trying to force something to work, to then spend 10 years with the person and have all this stress and by the time you're 30, you're already tired. You're already tired. And then guess what? The relationship doesn't last. You guys break up. And you have property attached or kids attached. It's draining. And then you give up on love. Why? Because you wasted your time. So use your youth. Save your time. Try not to compromise too much when you're young. Save that for when you're actually committed and involved and married. That is when that comes in. Your compromises should be very minimal. It should be something like, I wanted soup, you wanted cereal. Hey, you know what? You eat your thing, I eat mine. That should be your compromise at that age. Not compromising yourself for who you are. You should not compromise who you are as a person in your 20s. Especially if this person is just your boyfriend, your side piece, sneaky link. Save that for when you're married. Stop giving some of these men husband treatment. And immediately stop if they're not giving you attention at all. You should not be begging for attention from anyone. Do not write him no letter about why he should choose you. Why are we trying to convince people to choose us? No. Choose yourself. Do not. This is something that I always tell myself, and I have to remind myself. Do not be so loyal to someone else that you are disloyal to yourself. I'll say it again. Do not be so loyal to someone else that you are disloyal to yourself. And so with that, we're going to close until our next conversation. Next week, the podcast is going to be on dating a narcissist. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and warnings, words of advice, words of encouragement to get you out of that situation, or to at least bring awareness and help you recognize if you could be potentially dating a narcissist. So we'll see you guys next week for that one. Until next time, peace.